What's up, losers? Today I've got some more posts from r/niceguys to take a look at. Roast a little bit, and crack a few jokes about. This is episode 9 in the Nice Guys series. And I'm pumped up and ready to get stuck in. So without further delay, let's get into these posts.
Since it's anonymous, I wonder people's opinion on this. In brackets, I just got really high. I consider myself a good guy, and I sent this to my younger friend, who yes, I'm attracted to, but she is fully aware of this also. And yes, I'm quite aware I'm a simp. But I don't care. I hope you know, I'm not one of those type of incel pussies. And get angry at you. 'Cause you won't have sex with me, and turn on you. And cheat like that.
My god, this man loves his emojis.
I don't know if that crossed your mind. Or not, but I promise, I will always be a friend first. Even though I would have sex lol. But I respect you, and love you, and I know you just can't help who you like, just like you can't help being sexy as frick haha. But seriously, your happiness is above all.
I bet this guy thought that saying he just got high would protect him from receiving the scrutiny that his antics would normally warrant. Because who would take a high man's words to heart? Right, it's all fun and games. Lighten up a little. All I have to say to that is, I have no intention of being so generous. This guy could be doing mushrooms atop the Burj Khalifa. And I would still be here to call him out on his BS. Because I am not concerned about being seen as cool, or fun, or whatever, and also, because content haha. Whether this guy is telling the truth when he says that he won't get upset over his friend refusing to sleep with him, or whether it's just a strategic lie, almost doesn't matter, because sending the kind of message that he did is more than bad enough, all on its own. If he knows that she doesn't want to sleep with him, why persist in bringing up how attracted he is to her? There's no good reason to do it. And it's clearly nothing more than an attempt to guilt her into changing her position, regardless of her misgivings, and the apparent absence of mutual attraction, which is honestly just gross. Like, you can't reverse psychology someone into being attracted to you. And if they're not attracted to you, that should be the end of the story. None of this manipulative crap. In a situation where one person is attracted to another person, but the second person does not reciprocate these feelings, the first person is basically left with two options. Either accept that the other person does not feel the same way, and move forward as friends. Or, if this is too difficult or painful, step aside altogether, sticking around as a friend, but constantly reminding the other person how much you want to have sex with them is not an option. It's not real friendship. It's not cool, and it's not fair on the other person. It's just creepy, and wildly inappropriate. In summary, this guy thinks he can sneak his shitty behavior by us. By pretending to care about his friendship with this woman, even as he actively erodes it. And he tries to give himself a get-out-of-jail-free card. With his excuse about being high. On both counts I say, no, you're a bad friend, and something of a creep. Stop making excuses, and do better. That's it.
Weak-minded pansy beaches, who think that the good looks and body is the only way to get anywhere in this world. And fail to realize that it's just social programming of the modern age to make you a consumer and producer of such things. And states of mind to make a equally weak man, who are equally programmed by the social contract to be consumers and drones to what you are programmed by. To chase your kitty cat, to give you attention, stroke your ego, and possibly money. Usually y'all women ask for some of, even just to talk to you. Pretty sick, and sad really. A real mother fricker. Don't have a chance. With a world full of non-real women. Essentially you become a vessel. Or apparatus that is programmed to perpetuate the program, because you can't look past your pussy, and what you think it's worth, and how much control it gives you, and how much control you have on others in the world. Silly girls, you lost sight of your soul. It's like they fear intelligent, strong, loving, carrying, and being there for you kind of guy. But they cry out that's what they want. But they can't handle it when it comes along. It's backwards. And I don't care anymore. Let's not even get into the stimulating conversation. It's like when you throw one out. They just don't know how to have it. And retreat.
Oh my god. This guy really thinks he's smarter than he actually is. Doesn't he? I legitimately cringed while reading the rambling part about the programming. It's like he thinks that describing anything as socially programmed counts as some hard-hitting intellectual analysis, when in reality, it's basically a nothing point if you fail to elaborate on it properly. Also, he uses the term social contract, but it's pretty clear that he doesn't know what that actually means. Because it has nothing to do with the random nonsense he's spewing about sexual marketplace dynamics, or whatever, haha. I'll be honest, I got a bit lost reading through the first part of the post. Because it was pretty incoherent. Needless to say, I was able to detect a healthy dose of delusional misogyny in amongst it all, and a pretty clear undercurrent of personal resentment. But as for an overall response, I'm a little stuck. There has to be a real argument in place for me to respond to it. And as far as I can see, there isn't one on offer here. Just a bunch of pseudo-intellectual posturing. The second part was definitely easier to follow. But it was rather lacking in originality. Just the usual song and dance about girls claiming to want a nice guy, but responding badly when they actually get one. All I can say to that is, women are not a monolith. They like, and want, different things for themselves. But in general, most women do respond better to good, kind, and moral people, than they do to quote-unquote assholes. Instead of assuming that all women are the problem, because they refuse to see how fantastic you are, it might be wiser to consider the possibility, crazy though it might seem, that you're the problem, because I don't know if you've noticed, but there are plenty of great guys out there, of all different shapes and sizes, doing just fine with the ladies. It's clearly not impossible to succeed romantically as a nice guy, and if you consistently find yourself failing in this regard, it's probably a better bet to take a few notes and see what you can change about yourself, than to go to war with the entire female population. But that's just what I think. Maybe it's just my social programming talking, or whatever, who knows. Moving on.
Nice picture.
Thanks.
Good luck to you. Redacted. I tried to have a mature conversation with you. Hopefully one day you lose weight and learn how to have adult conversations. Otherwise you'll just be another female in her 30s, with a biological clock that expires.
Wow, charming. By which of course I mean, yuck, 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 yuck. The nerve of this guy to claim that he wanted to have a mature conversation, just as he launches into a totally unprovoked and utterly juvenile attack on her for not giving him the immediate deluge of attention and appreciation that he craved, is almost beyond comprehension. I don't know where that kind of audacity could possibly have come from. But it's something to behold. That's for sure. Insulting someone for their weight is obviously a mean and childish thing to do, but his talk of her becoming, quote, just another female in her 30s with a biological clock that expires, is really the cherry on top of the sheet sandwich. Like, could he make his misogyny any more obvious? He might as well buy a custom-made t-shirt that says "I hate women" on the front. This really shouldn't have to be said, but here I go anyway. Women are not just baby-making factories. They are complete, multi-dimensional human beings, with just as much right to pursue whatever it is that they might want in life as anybody else. To assume that any woman you're talking to is determined to have children, and hold the prospect of missing out on children over their heads to taunt them, is both supremely ignorant and morally repugnant. You don't know shit about anyone. Plenty of women do not want children, and they are not somehow failing in life for doing what they want, rather than what assholes like you tell them they should want. And if a woman does want children, and for whatever reason finds herself unable to have them, then guess what? That doesn't make her a failure either. And it does not in any way diminish her value as a human being. You, on the other hand, what do you bring to the table? Petulant tantrums, schoolyard insults, and garden variety misogyny. If anyone is living a life devoid of value or meaning, it's not childless women, it's sad losers like you.
My self-summary. Nobody is going to read this. 'Cause I'm not a hot millionaire. Hypergamy is distasteful. I'm really not interested in a relationship at all. Women are insane these days. Sure, I can be friendly and cordial, but I don't want to be me too'd just for saying hello to a lady who's ready to Karen out on any dude who looks their way. Women, you've put us men in the position that you've got to make the first move. It's just too risky for men to approach women these days. I'd also like there to be an option for men to report women who play stupid games. Like a rating system for women who are crappy human beings. Current goal: to get laid.
Well, I hate to break it to you, pal, but with a summary like that, I think your ambition of getting laid is destined to go unfulfilled. Seriously though, what was this guy even thinking writing something like this? He can't honestly have thought that it would do anything other than scare women off. Right, I mean, this isn't just a red flag, it's a nuclear warning system LMAO. To comment on a few of the post specifics. No, you don't need to be a hot millionaire to get any attention from women. The online dating world may be a bit competitive for men, but let's not exaggerate. I wouldn't say that women these days are insane, either. If anything, your paranoid rant about how women are apparently waiting to me too any guy who looks at them, or Karen out at any guy who says hello, makes you look like the insane one, because the chance of either of those things actually happening to you in the real world are utterly negligible. What's more likely is that you'll do something that's genuinely inappropriate and get rightly called out for it. I'm not going to deny that women sometimes falsely accuse men of things. But let's be completely real here. Those false accusations represent a tiny fraction of the overall picture. In most cases, women have no desire to involve themselves in such situations, unless they absolutely have to, and only speak out when something seriously awful has been done to them. Trivializing the whole Me Too movement by acting like it's a bunch of women making a fuss over nothing is both extremely disrespectful and profoundly inaccurate. Me Too is a response to a real problem in the culture, not some frivolous excuse to go after men who did nothing wrong. If you treat women with respect and honor their boundaries, you should have nothing to fear from Me Too. And if you do fear being quote-unquote Me Too'd, then frankly, maybe you need to reconsider your attitudes towards women and your approach to interacting with them. Just a suggestion. Oh yeah, and as for the proposed idea of a rating system for women who are crappy human beings, well, I don't know about you, But I've got a life. And sitting around stewing on perceived slights all day doesn't sound like a healthy, enjoyable, or remotely productive use of my time. But to each their own, I guess. You do you. Well, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed meeting these friendly gentlemen and hearing their fascinating views on society and women. I know I did. What do you think? Is it inappropriate to tell your friend how sexy you find them, even after they've rebuffed your romantic overtures? Are women socially programmed to see the world only in terms of sexual transaction? Is it mature to call someone fat and mock them for not having children? Do you have to be a hot millionaire to find success with the ladies? Let me know in the comments. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, or I'll say hello to you on the street. And when you say hello back, I'll Karen out on you. Just kidding, haha. Anyway, catch you later.